Detective Comics 1065, Ram V writing with Raphael Albuquerque on the art. So, thoughts, feelings?
This is the first time I remember reading Ubu in comics. I don't know if this is the first. I don't know if he showed up in other things, but that was cool to see. I like that Ram V's bringing that character in.
Yeah, we left off last time in the cliffhanger with the League of Assassins getting after the boat with the royal family coming in. So it takes up with a lot of action, and like the police are all being held down, and Montoya's insistent that no one light the bat signal. And you know, it's like no, we can do this on our own. But of course, Batman shows up and helps anyway, kind of thing. Which leads to a really interesting subplot in this, where Batman actually ends up like hurt in the water. You know, he ends up sort of passed out after he's fighting the big guy, and Gordon pulls him out of the water and actually takes him back to like him and Bullock's like PI office.
Yeah.
And needs to bandage his face, so he like turns off the light so he can't see him to do it. And it's like, oh, that's kind of neat. But he also mentions that he thinks he knows who it is, but he doesn't want to know for sure. So which I do like as a respect thing with Gordon, where he's like, at the end of the day, he's still just Batman. So it doesn't matter who's behind the mask, because their relationship doesn't change. So I love that. So that kid that was with them, that's the creepy kid from the backups? Yeah, so it turns out those backups might have been somewhat relevant, because now that kid's with Gordon in the main story, which...
spoiler, I didn't continue reading the backups, so if you did, you let me know if I should.
I read part of them, and then I sort of stopped, because they were... I don't know, I kind of fell away from it. So, this kid's with them, just go with it.
Okay.
This is basically the thing. So... No, I liked so Prince. What's his name? Arzan.
Orgum. Yeah, Arzan Orgum.
Arzan Orgum. Okay, so Arzan's with this guy who owns Arkham, the original Arkham land, and he's basically making this offer. But as the conversation goes on, it's like, no, we actually own this land anyway, and we've got paperwork going back centuries and centuries. And the guy's like, oh, you're going to have to prove that in court. But I was like, no, you don't understand. We're not offering to buy Arkham. We're offering you a ridiculous sum of money so that you'll just shut up and go away, and we'll keep the land that we and this is like how filthy rich they are, that they can do this. Like, we valued how much the land and the buildings were, and then we tripled it here. And
enjoy this, stay out of our hair.
Yeah.
And the guy looked like he was going to have a seizure with the amount of money spending he was already doing in his head.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he'll successfully stay away. Obviously, it's there to show you how powerful and rich this family are, and all that.
Yeah. If money matters to you, right? Like, they can buy and sell and do whatever. Which,
that's the beauty ultimately of Batman and Gordon, is that money doesn't matter to them. Like,
exactly.
And I think that's the thing. They're talking about legacy, and they're talking about the heritage of the city, and they're coming back to claim what's theirs. I think there's something really touching about, in the same issue, showing like Gordon's there for Batman, and this is something that's been born out of the modern Gotham City. Is like, this is what Gotham is now. It's just them fighting for it. So if you're coming to take the city, this is who you're coming to take it from. Really,
these are your knights. Right?
Yeah, you're not taking it from Two-Face. You may think you are, but you're not. You're taking it from them.
That was the other thing, the Two-Face plot here, which we'll get to. That was a good one.
Yeah. Two-Face is now working for the royal family here, and shows up to help and lets the one of them come in, who heavily implied here, this soldier for the royal family is a werewolf.
Yeah, buddy, let's get it.
Yeah.
Which we kind of knew from reading solicits, because there's going to be a one shot coming up, or is it an annual, with Batman versus a werewolf, essentially. So, but yeah, it seems like this is their guy that they send in to like clean things up. I don't know, he's not exactly a cleaner, but like he goes in ahead and takes care of loose things, so the family doesn't have to worry about it, right? They get to keep their hands clean. He's their muscle, I guess. Very intriguing character, because he doesn't take gruff from anybody.
Yeah, because the guy from the Al Ghuls, from the League, is there and wants to get snuck out, and Two-Face is like, sorry, that's not happening. And does this thing where he locks him in the door with this, the werewolf character, and we just like sort of hear the screaming from behind the door. Yeah.
Yeah, because we get him, so that's Raz's personal bodyguard.
Yeah.
Ubu, the big bald guy from the animated series. and like he shows up strapped with dynamite. Basically, 'cause he's gonna take them out before anything can happen. And remind me, that's where Batman gets involved, right? He shows up and, or not Batman, the other dude.
Oh no, you're thinking earlier with the cops. I'm talking about when Two-Face locks the guy. You know, when he locks Udo in the room with the werewolf.
I'm just getting us there. The Batman shows up and is like, we don't need your help, right? Takes the dynamite vest off of him.
Yeah. That's earlier on. Yeah.
Right, and then he's licking his wounds, and he goes to Two-Face to get out, and I don't even want to say Two-Face. Harvey sells him out to the family.
Yeah, because you hear Two-Face's narration come in and saying, "Oh, dear Harvey, like, you know, you're working for this family now," kind of. You know, it starts to like. There's a bit of a conflict with Harvey and Two-Face.
And Two-Face like, I'm supposed to be the bad personality. What are you doing?
Yeah,
you know. But yeah, just the fact that this was Ra's al Ghul's personal servant guy, like his bodyguard, gets taken out, you know, by this werewolf dude. It really sets the stakes, not the stakes. It sets up the levels that Batman's gonna have to deal with.
Yeah, it's almost like Two-Face is saying to Harvey, like, you need help to deal with this problem, and there's only one person who can help, and kind of implies Batman. So it's kind of interesting that Two-Face is the one saying that to Harvey Dent internally.
When Two-Face is telling you you've gone too deep, you done messed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Rampy is so good at these interpersonal relationship type stuff. You know?
And the end of the stories, because obviously the werewolf thing's kind of the big finale, essentially, but there's just one last page with Gordon, with Bruce like lying on the couch with bandages all over his face. And you know, it's just kind of setting up that Gordon needs to be there for Batman, that sometimes he needs saving, and kind of setting up that you know, he's going to be an ally. I mean, Gordon's always an ally, obviously, but specifically in this story, he's going to be an ally in this fight.
Well, because I don't think that Gordon, if he was in the commissioner spot that Montoya was in, I don't think he would have hesitated to hit the bat signal. Whereas Montoya is very much about no, we're going to do this on our own. We're the police, you know. We don't want to make matters worse. Whereas Gordon has that personal relationship with him, and they can lean on each other, you know. So if it's bad enough that you think you need Batman, get Batman, and Gordon already understands that. So there's this nice sentiment he has here about how, you know, the city is just as dark and depressing as it always was when he first arrived, but there's just this hope that there's someone trying to save it all, and that's kind of what Batman is. And I don't know, there's a nice sort of general bat sentiment towards the end. Yeah, no, it's a pretty solid issue. I really like the build up, and again, just further developing the power this royal family has. Now that one of them we know is a werewolf, maybe multiple of them or werewolves. Well, we kind of know there's something mystical going on with them, because the one seer lady has like 3 pupils in each eye, you know. So to see maybe they have like ties to dark magic and whatnot, and that's where the werewolf stuff comes from. But also like, and I don't think this has anything to do with Barbatos, right? But the fact that that's Bruce's fear, that's what form it's taking, right? Because we have this whole thing that he's having panic attacks when he went to the doctors, and it keeps showing up to him in his darkest moments. And like, basically, you're not going to escape. I feel like that with this, you know, the whole idea of Gotham wants to pull people into the dark, but Batman is that hope that, you know, that shines in like the bat signal.
And let's not forget as well that, you know, not only were the League coming to like try and kill this family as soon as they arrived at Gotham, because they see this family as super dangerous. Like, you know, like Razi's main man went in with a suicide vest to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if that doesn't sell you how much they think this family's a threat, then, you know, nothing will.
Also, if Raz was around, this family wouldn't be taking hold, right? If Raz hadn't, you know, got gunned down by Deathstroke, I think he'd be settling for this? I don't think so. You know?
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. But
just trying to put over my dude Raz.
It's doing a good job of building up like the threat of what this family is, and that Batman's not only just scratching the surface. And you know, he spends most of this issue knocked out on a couch. So you know, it just kind of sells how big the deal this is. And the fact that we can have an issue where Batman's mostly knocked out, and like we've got all these other compelling characters in the story to kind of take it forward, is good, because it shows you that Ram V understands that this is an ensemble cast and it's not just Batman.
But it kind of feels like he's writing, like when we were reading Catwoman, you know, it's so hacked to say like Gotham is a character, but it does feel like Gotham is a character in this one, with just the way the family's moving around and how easy it is for them to like get hardy.
It feels like a living, breathing world where there's lots of moving parts, as opposed to it just focusing on what Batman's seeing, which can work for certain types of stories, but like it feels better when it feels like it's a world that he's in, as opposed to just, you know.
Right.
So yeah, that's good stuff.
Albuquerque's art, I can't wait to see the werewolf, because he draws monsters really well.
Yeah, we see like the shadow or the silhouette of it here, but just that's all we get. We just get a tease, just a little tease of it.
Ubu and his full-on armor, I thought that was super well designed, because I didn't realize who this was going to be, because again, I'm not familiar with Ubu in the comics, so to see the dude from the animated series, I was like, oh, that's rad. Then I just looked it up, and he's been around since Roz has, since the 70s. So, stupid me. But yeah, that design was super cool. Like a super ninja. So, and just like the lady with 3 pupils, super creeps on that, you know. So Albuquerque's the perfect choice, I feel, for this kind of gothic, dark horror story.
He's the American vampire guy after all, so why not? Right. I do actually really love that scene where Arson's talking to the guy who owns Arkham, or thinks he owns Arkham at least. Just a lot of the expressions are really well done. The shock in his eyes, the way he's sitting there with his head down at the end, it really sells the power dynamics in the scene. Like, this guy was sitting there thinking he was part of the rich elite, sitting next to this prince. And then by the end of the scene, he's like, he feels small, he feels little, he feels like, oh shit, I am a small fry in this big potato, if you will. That's not a saying, but I just made it one. So, no, really good stuff. And I never read the backup, I have to be honest.
Yeah. No, I might go back now, because it feels like we kind of need to know who this kid is, because I feel like it's going to have a payoff.
It's a new story, though. It's not the same story.
Oh, it's not?
I finished last issue. This is a new backup story.
What's this backup story looks like then?
It looks like it's doing Two-Face stuff, but it looks of it.
Oh, son of a bitch. I just got to it and I closed the book out to go read something else. So it's saved there. I'll read this. If it's Two-Face involved, you know, I'm there for Two-Face. So plus Danny's art, right?
It's not Danny anymore.
It's not?
No, it's Hayden Sherman's the artist now.
I'm just taking L's. Just taking L's. So.
All right, what are you rating Detective Comics?
I'm gonna give this an 8.5.
I think I'll go with a straight 8. I liked it a lot. I liked the building up of the family, the sort of the sweetness of Gordon being there for Batman. All that stuff's great. The only thing I would really critique, and I love the tease of the werewolves and stuff. The only thing I'd really critique is that it doesn't really crescendo to like a final moment. It kind of felt I was kind of surprised when it ended. So that's just a minor quibble overall, but I'll throw it out there.